Welcome to Mr. Brown's Basement. Today I'm going to be looking at the Orico Mini Dock desktop stand for the M4 Mac Mini model VSE. First, a full disclosure in advance. I was offered this Mini Dock desktop stand if I would review it. I'm going to give you my honest opinion of this accessory, whether I like it or not, and whether Orico likes my review. I'm going to publish my honest, fair, and unbiased opinion. I've bought other products from Orico in the past, and I've been pleased with them. However, when I look at a new product, I try and keep an open mind. Let's go over the highlights of this mini dock. It has two 10 gigabit per second USB 2 Type A ports. You're probably thinking what I was thinking, but when you consider the introductory price, it makes more sense. Let me go on. An SD and micro SD card reader. A 3.5mm jack that can function as an audio input or audio output, and a single bay for an M.2 SSD. It also has a Type-C USB connector for auxiliary power. As I was researching for this review, I discovered that Orico has a number of other mini dock desktop stands that look almost exactly like this one, but have different options. If you like this dock, but it doesn't have everything you need, it might be worthwhile to take a look at the fancier models. Look at the box, there's not a lot of information, so let's just open it up and see what's inside. First, an instruction manual, a cable to link the mini dock desktop stand to the M4 Mac Mini, a screwdriver to open the SSD compartment, a piece of thermal pad, a bag with 3 spare screws, and the mini dock desktop stand itself. My first impression, I like it. It's simple, it's small, it's unobtrusive. On the back, auxiliary power and the connection to the M4 Mac Mini. But why call it PC? Small detail. On the long side, a pilot light, the microphone/headphone jack, 2 USB ports, and the card readers. On the bottom, rubber feet, and the door to the SSD compartment, held on with 1 screw. Let's compare the desktop footprint with one of the other docks I reviewed. This one reduces the footprint by 50% because the M4 Mac Mini is standing on its side rather than on its bottom. Let's get the SSD installed. I already know that it's a 10 gigabit per second connection to the Mac Mini, so I'll be expecting 10 gigabit per second speeds. The cable is nicely made with a white braid jacket, but it is very, very short. Let's see how the M4 Mac Mini fits in. It just rests on the dock stand. It doesn't lock in, and it's hardly snug. I'm going to put the dock in with the power button up, and the ports up, and the headphone jack and light down. But there's no way that the included USB-C cable to the Mac Mini will reach. Yes, if you turn it over, it will, but that's not how I would use it. I would need a longer cable. Orico should have provided a cable long enough so that it gives the user choice. It's really bizarre that they didn't. So how does it look? It looks good. Actually, I prefer the look of it vertically. It takes up less desktop space and it looks less busy, especially with my Acasis SSD enclosure next to it. It just looks like there's less there. If you put the M4 Mac Mini into the dock stand the way it's designed, the power button is totally blocked. Why isn't there a notch there? And then there's no issue accessing the power button. Some people keep their computer on and asleep 24/7, 365, so access to the switch is no big deal. But I turn my computer off when I'm not using it, so this is a concern for me. But of course, each to their own. Let's do a couple of tests. First, the SSD read and write using Blackmagic speed test. With a 10 gigabit per second connection, the theoretical maximum is about 1200 megabytes per second, but in real life it's closer to about 1000 megabytes per second. We're getting about 978 and 892 on the write and read respectively. It's measurably less than what I've seen on other enclosures, but the difference isn't something that you'll perceive while using it. Let's see if there's any interference with my wireless internet. And the answer is no interference. That's good. The headphone jack input and output will only appear in the list of available devices when you plug something in. Does it get warm? Yes, it does. And that begs the question, why isn't there a fan in this model? My conclusion: I like it because it takes up less desktop space and it makes it look cleaner and more simple. That's the way the M4 Mac Mini is supposed to look. If this design was to give access to the on-off button, they could have done better. I really wish there was a fan, but there isn't on this model. So will I use it? I think I will. I will probably get rid of my other M4 Mac Mini dock because it has ports on it that I don't use, and the way they come out makes my desk look cluttered, even when it isn't. I may not use this exact model in the long term. I think I would go out and buy the one with the fan and the 40 gigabit per second connection. These are things I'd actually use and get benefit from. In the short term, however, I will simply go out and buy myself a longer interconnect cable so that I can put the Mac Mini the way I want it. I hope you enjoyed this video from Mr. Brown's Basement. Please like and subscribe for more interesting and unusual videos. And as always, thanks for watching.